Hey everyone, welcome back to Handmade. It's me, AV, and today we're going to get into some embroidery. I have been teaching embroidery for a number of years, and it is a trending and fun craft that you can get into, and I want to show you 4 of my favorite stitches. Let's get started. First up, we have to assemble our hoop. So you want to take your embroidery hoop apart, like so. Put this part down, put your fabric in the center, and put this part on top. You want to make sure that it is taut. Now, I'm going to use this washable marker, and just so we can have an outline of when we're starting our stitches. So I'm going to do one line here, another line, a little box. You'll see about that shortly. And another line. And don't worry, like I mentioned, this is washable. So if you're using it in your project, you can just rinse it off with water and it'll be as good as new. First up is our running stitch. So you're going to take your embroidery floss, like so, about an arm's length. Cut it, and with your embroidery floss, you can stitch with as little as 1 or all 6, but today we're going to do 3, just so it's a little bit more manageable. I'm going to just split it in half. Now I'm going to take those strands and put it through my needle. We are going to get started now on our running stitch. First, you're going to just pull your needle through your hoop, but you want to make sure to leave a little in the back. After you do your first stitch, you're going to go back down and come up again, and the space between the stitches is the same as the stitch. Of course, as you get more comfortable with the running stitch, you can break those rules. You can make a long stitch, shorter stitches, to get your design how you would like it to be. So now we are getting ready to do the back stitch. You already have the hang of the running stitch. It is very similar. We take our embroidery floss, cut, and split. I like to use 3 just so it's thinner, so I can thread it. So the back stitch, it's literally like starting the running stitch. So you're pulling through, make sure you don't pull all the way. You leave a little bit like that, and you hold it with your finger. Don't worry about pulling it all the way through, because after you do your stitches, it will stay in place. So stitch 1, pull through. So it's just like the running stitch, stitch, space, pull through again, but instead of going forward, you're going to go back. Yes, that's why it's called the back stitch. It's great for doing letters, going around curves. You can use it for anything. And it is a simple stitch where you really feel like, you know, I'm doing embroidery today. Yes, the back stitch. Next up is the satin stitch. I love this stitch because you use it to fill in spaces. So that's why we have that square, well, rectangle. So if you are making something that has like words or shapes, this stitch is what you can use to fill it in. So you're going to start at your corner. You're going to pull through, and you're going to go across. Remember when we were kids and you would, shade stuff in with your pencil? This is the same technique, but just with thread. You're going to go right next to it, pull, and come across like that. Last but not least is the French knot. I like this stitch because it's not truly a stitch. It's a bunch of knots, and it's pretty and decorative, and it just gives it the razzle dazzle. So you already know what to do. All right. We're going to start from the back, just like all of our other stitches. You never want to start from the front. And you don't want to pull too much, just because your knot will get tangled, ironically. You're gonna pull this part to the left, wrap twice around, and you want to keep yourself as close to the embroidery hoop as possible. And you're going to push back down next to the original stitch. You're gonna pull through the back, and there's your knot. It's cute, tiny, but it gets the job done. I'm gonna do it again. I love using the French knot because it gives it the extra pizzazz to your project. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing it like how we were using the other stitches because, as you can see, it's pretty complex. But if you're using it for like flourishes and just little details, maybe to dot your I's if you're writing something, beautiful. So I put all the stitches that we learned today to create this. So here, this is our running stitch. I have longer running stitches here, and this is all of the back stitch. I mentioned how great it is to do things like writing, details, stuff like that. And then we have our good old satin stitch to fill in these hearts, but it's missing a few French knots. So let's add that. We have learned 4 new stitches today. Personally, I am team backstitch, but I want to know which stitch will you try first. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more DIYs. Bye.